Hello, guys. This is your boy Vipers here tonight. And tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about the social media craze for episode 37 of The Gamer Takes. I'm doing this in a little backwards order with how I'm saying my stuff. But tonight's topic will kind of focus on social media as my words jump out, but that's okay. We're not always perfect with anything on any social media platform, even if it does get criticized a lot. So social media has been on the rise in the last 10 to 15 years. Mostly would start with, I don't know, like Friendster, I don't remember. But, with the rise of Facebook coming in the late 2000s, late 2000s, same thing with Instagram starting 2010, Twitter, all that. The platforms have blown up, and we also have seen new platforms come to rise as in the last 5 years, like Snapchat and TikTok. As everybody knows, TikTok is one of the fastest growing apps on the planet and one of the most used apps recently. So we're going to kind of talk about all about social media and what its effects. Mostly not talking about the good. We always got to talk about the bad side. I know social media can be a good thing for a lot of people if you do have the fame. Just say for example, Tim the Tapman, Ninja, Valkyrie, Pokemon. Social media has been a big blow for them, and that it has made careers. Also counting other celebrities like Addison Rae, um, or for TikTok stars Noah Beck, uh, Jake Paul for some unknown reason. But that's what happened. So kind of really going through the good and bad side of social media and go through a lot of opinions. And we're going to let her, I guess, introduce herself tonight.
Awesome. I'm America Girl 24. I stream on Twitch mostly. That's probably how a few people know me. And I also stream for the Xbox Ambassador channel. But yeah, Viper, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So the opening topic question, usually I'm going to explain this for every episode now. It does not totally relate to the main topic a little bit, but this one kind of does a little bit. So, how did you end up becoming an Xbox ambassador play host? Because when I look for the guests, I have to make sure everything's clean on social media and all that before I start messaging them. And it's said on your bio that the Twitter bio, don't call me a stalker or anything, but it's clearly visible that you are currently an Xbox ambassador play host. So, kind of explain the play host part and Xbox ambassador part.
Yeah, definitely. So for the play host side of things, there's a few Xbox ambassadors who are lucky enough to be on the channel throughout the week. So we all have our own different shows that kind of feature exactly what we want to play. For me, it's all about multiplayer. My show is called the Tuesday Team Up, and I do that every Tuesday night. And yeah, so it's just a real cool place where I feel like Xbox really embraces how community friendly they are, and they really want to give people who are a fan of Xbox a place to go and congregate and have fun and meet each other. It's a really cool, I guess, social aspect to it all. And that's what really drew me to the Xbox Ambassador program as a whole when I first found out about it. So I actually first came across the Xbox Ambassadors through someone named Scratch who was streaming. He's an Xbox ambassador. I believe he was streaming for Xbox at that time, but he talked about the program and I was like, whoa, you mean like a company out there is really, I guess, engaging with their fans in a way that I hadn't seen before and just really making it feel welcome and more human-like, not just like, hey, we're a brand, buy our products. It was really like, hey, you want to come, join game with us, chat with us. The interactive side of it really drew me in. So, but the Xbox Ambassador program as a whole is really just community focused of where Xbox gamers can help out other Xbox gamers, get social, play together, meet each other, all that good stuff.
How do you apply for the Xbox ambassadors? Because I think I probably seen a couple of times. Maybe looking for profiles. I think they have a symbol like that. And they only played for like 2 years, or it's like a second year account.
Yeah,
So, what's the
so
process like?
totally. So to become an Xbox ambassador, almost everyone is eligible, which is really cool. It's not something that you have to be some high level ultimate gamer score type of thing. So you can Google Xbox ambassadors, and basically there are a few criteria. You have to be over the age of 18. You do have to have a specific amount of gamer score just so your account isn't brand new. You have some experience on the platform, and then you can't have any enforcements on your account, I believe, within the last year. So there's some things that definitely need to be rounded up in order to apply, but I think overall it's fairly simple.
How many gamer score is it required?
That's a great
Is
question. Unfortunately, I don't know. I need a refresh.
Oh, I was just curious because it's like they gotta be specific. I think I passed every one of those. Maybe I force. I don't think I passed enforcement. I think I'm a couple days
Mhm.
off. Just say I'm not really clean with the communication a little bit. Mostly it wasn't my. I just get. It usually isn't my fault with it. I just it tends to be me blaming other people for the mistakes, and that's what happens.
I see.
And it's just kind of dumb not listening. That's that happens a lot. I have, and that's why I probably can't get that for application right now, even with it, because I played Xbox since maybe not on the specific account because it's about 5 years, but since 2011.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
well,
Okay.
2011, 2012, but that was on a different account before I had
Mhm.
some email issues, but we'll forget about that. So it'll be kind of fun. Uh, how, so kind of with that in mind, how, what is your stream schedule for like the week, or like every week? How many times do you stream for the Xbox Ambassadors program?
Yeah, so for them, I'm only on once a week, every Tuesday night from 7:30 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. So that's my strict schedule. And then the rest of the time, I'm on my own channel and engaging with anyone who shows up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't understand. I thought you had more opportunities with it. Like you stream like multiple times a week with Xbox Ambassadors.
Yeah, I think there have been a few hosts in the past who've done that, but I think too, you kind of want to balance it out with what you want to do as well, since the shows there are pretty specific, although I usually do play multiplayer on my own channel as well. I want to be able to make sure that even people who aren't necessarily only on Xbox are able to play with me as well. I like a different a range of consoles and systems and stuff like that. So I like to be pretty inclusive, and yeah, not just be limited to that.
It's like the GamerTech show. You gotta talk with everybody. You can't really,
Yeah.
you gotta get the whole community. That's why I have a different guest for every show, because I have, well, because I have gotten messages like people want to redo the show again. I think the past two guests have been interested, actually, since I launched the show 3 episodes ago, I think every guest has been interested in wanting to do it again. Although I have the limit per one, for
Totally.
the one show per guest, and unless maybe it's like a special episode or something like that, where maybe I do want to re-invite a guest. Like it's got to be a rare occasion. It's got to be like
Mhm.
some, maybe it's like 100K special, and I kind of want to feature another guest who, maybe the one who's got the most viewership of mine, or who I feel like had the best episode with. Maybe I'll re-feature them, but that's usually, we don't know when that's going to happen because it's been a slow
Mhm.
process for me. So the first question I got for you, this is going to talk about social media. So we're going out of the opening topic to the social media topic. How did you get into gaming and getting into posting gaming related uh, wait, why did I put topics? Oops. Into posting gamer related content for social media.
Yeah, so I've been gaming basically my whole life. I feel like I'm really, really lucky in the sense that my parents were always really supportive and even gamed with me on some of the older consoles. But yeah, so it's really always been in my life. It's always been a hobby of mine. And I think it just really picked up even more in a hobby that's now more social, with like online gaming and stuff like that, over the past few years. So I really tried to, I guess, take a leap back in 2015 at the end of it when I had some free time off of work, to try streaming. And so that's what really got me, I think, more into the social media aspect of it all, of like, oh, I can connect with people with gaming through these different platforms. It doesn't just have to be through YouTube or have to be on Xbox and stuff like that. So I think that was where it all kind of started from.
What was going back into getting into gaming? What was your first console?
Ooh, that's a good question. I probably the Super Nintendo back in the day. I know I definitely had all of the handheld Nintendo systems as well. but even some other like very random, like, okay, this is like some weird Aladdin knockoff game that's all digital and stuff like that. But yeah.
I have like from my side, it hasn't really been that much. Again, it's my social media on Instagram. Mostly the gaming content. It usually is related to either me posting like the episodes or whatever gaming stuff on Twitter, maybe on my personal my personal TikTok. Maybe not like just clips I had on the streams. But I usually don't do it that much because it's just it's kind of different for me because I'm kind of a little bit, not really gaming specific from Instagram and all that. Maybe I'll be interested in making a gaming related Instagram, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried it before. Well, actually, like consistently, I have tried it before with a Forza account when I was interested in Forza back in 20 Forza Horizon 4, where I would just post communities pics from other people, like just I don't know what I say, give shout out to great Forza Horizon 4 pictures, but didn't really last long because I kind of got bored of it,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really get the views that followers I wanted. So, and it's also, going back to Instagram part. I'm going backwards here. It kind of just, I don't know, it just seems odd because I'm a little bit young and no, I don't really follow a lot of gaming influences on there. I just kind of, I do follow gaming stuff. It's just, it might seem odd to other people who are new from high school. They know, I think all the people in high school, most people know in high school, I play a lot of games. I'm a really avid gamer. But I just don't think I really want to include that into my content from
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. And I really don't post on Instagram that much. So that kind of ruined it. But, I try to do it with TikTok and Twitter because I don't really have a lot of my high school classmates or like the Instagram. I just try to keep it to like out of gaming stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
like the TikTok and Twitter, I try to keep in game, like a little mix of, well, TikTok out and in gaming, and Twitter try to focus fully on gaming or whatever personal, whatever shit I want to talk about on Twitter
Yeah.
sometimes. So, um, actually, let's add one more thing to that. Um, oh crap, I forgot. What kind of gaming, like what kind of content do you post usually on your your social media pages like Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok?
Yeah, um so far TikTok has a very slow start for me. I'm definitely somebody who's on there scrolling all the time, but posting is a little intimidating for me. It's mostly just been game clips so far. I would love to like expand into that because I think there's some really, really funny trends, but I think I'm a little intimidated. I know there's a little bit of a age thing on there too, where it's like, you're too old. So I'm like, okay, if I just don't like start with that, then the gaming clips are fine and stuff. But as far as Instagram and probably, I guess just Instagram, I do a few like gaming clips, but I really like to, when we're able to go to cons and events and stuff like that's where I really like to post pictures of things that are happening out there, like in real life type of things, because not everyone gets to attend that stuff. So I love being able to just show like, hey, this is what happened at BlizzCon, or this is what's going on at E3, or the Xbox ambassadors had a meetup. This is how it went. So I really like giving the behind the scenes on those kinds of events. And then that way, like Twitter can just be gaming clips or posting when I go live and stuff like that as well. It doesn't have to be so like me focused. It's more like, hey, this is the gaming side. You can join in on that too.
So do you have like a personal Instagram, like like a two Instagram accounts, like one's focused fully on gaming, one personal, or is it just kind of mixed into one? That
Yeah,
usually
it's
happens a lot with
mixed.
Instagram. Oh, okay. Just curious.
Yeah, I've thought about it because I do feel like it kind of makes it easier. So the people who want to see gaming clips, like they can then follow that account. But for me, it's like too much for me to manage. I'm like, if I can, if I can post it all, that's a good sign for me.
All right, I was just curious. Next question I got for you is: do you think people with this one is going to kind of be mixed? This one's going to oh, screw. Let me just talk about it. Do you think people would have had business opportunities in regard to gaming without any sort of involvement in the social media space? Let's ask that one portion of the question first, then we'll go to the second portion of the question I had.
Cool. Yeah, I honestly think it's possible, but I really don't know because I feel like there's been a lot of times where I'm seeing tournaments and people who win those tournaments, and I don't necessarily know if they have a social media presence and stuff like that, but because they're so successful in what they do, they're able to really gain traction and stuff like that just because they are so talented and skillful. But I can see how kind of marketing yourself on social media would make it just so much easier, I think, to let sponsors and everyone know what your personality is like, what kind of content you already post, so they kind of get a better sense of what they're getting into aside from just that.
Yeah, that's kind of common with esports players overall. This kind of they, they start doing good, they get their names recognized, and then that's when they kind of do the social media thing.
Mhm.
But it usually never really, they kind of never really focus on social media first because that's not what what they're following. But it's
Mhm.
possible to make a name without social media. You can see, um, many sports stars, maybe many gamers who don't, maybe not on Twitter. They all have a Twitter. We're not go, but like it's easier. Not it's harder for the gaming space because you need to get that recognition because it's not
Mhm.
like it's a worldwide thing yet, worldwide phenomenon where people are gonna streaming. Yeah, everybody knows they stream, but it's something that hasn't really clicked onto all the other populations. Unlike sports where we'll just go for example Kawhi Leonard. Well, that's a basketball player. He doesn't really have any social medias, but everybody knows him. He doesn't. He's got a lot of fame. He doesn't really. He's got a lot of fame off that. He doesn't really need social media to kind of help his platform a little bit, although it might help a little bit. It's something that isn't required. So it's a lot easier
Mhm.
for sports athletes because a lot more people watch sports or know more about sports than what's in the overall gaming space.
Totally.
Second part of the question is also, what opportunities have you gotten through via the means of social media for gaming or real life purposes?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, I think being chosen to be one of the play hosts had a huge part in that because there was an interview process and everything like that for becoming an Xbox ambassador play host. But I don't think that I probably would have gotten any sort of recognition if not for the fact that people could check out my content beforehand and know, like, hey, she's family friendly. This is something we're looking for. Otherwise it's like who would be there to vouch for me and stuff like that. It's only me and stuff. So I think that, yeah, that was huge. But some other really cool opportunities actually came from the Microsoft store. Unfortunately, my beloved store has closed down as of last year, but I was able to go in store, and when Mixer was still around as well, stream live in store once a week, introduce customers to what Mixer was, show them the Xbox and everything like that. So I think because of my social media presence and again, having the backup then of the Xbox ambassadors made a huge impact on that too.
No, you never haven't. So that's cool to hear. You never got any like what to say? Like some gamers have like teams have sponsors like HyperX, like headset companies, like energy products. Nothing like that yet. You ever got pursued by it? I
No,
was just
I don't
curious.
think I'm there quite yet. I did have an amazing opportunity just a few months ago where I got to work with Xbox and we actually had some really amazing AR filters come out. It was right when Cyberpunk
Oh,
was launching, and they actually made some AR filters based on something I dreamed about, which was really crazy. So again, I think without the backup of social media, there's no way I would have been like chosen to be a participant in all that. Yeah.
oh, okay. Just curious. Um, Next question I got for you is: have you ever reconnected with people? Well, this one's going to be kind of out of gaming a little bit, but could be in gaming too. Have you ever reconnected with people from the past through social media and actually hanged out with them in real life?
Yes.
This actually, let me see the question again. Have you ever reconnected? Uh, um, this one could, yeah. Let's go with this because this could be like a gaming question too. Like, have you met any? Oh no, never mind. Let's just continue with what I just started with. I'll repeat the question again. Sorry, I
Okay.
had an interruption. Have you ever reconnected with people from the past through social media and actually hanged out with them in real life?
Yes, totally. I feel like, especially when I was in college and stuff like that, it was so easy then through social media to be like, wait, I kind of recognize you. Oh, we went to the same school together. Okay. Or I remember a weird experience too at
You might as well
at
explain it.
Warped Tour, seeing somebody I went to high school with and stuff like that. And I think I wrote them on probably MySpace back then or something. And I was like, hey, was that you? And so we became friends and stuff like that, mostly through social media. But it was like the connection of like, oh, I definitely know this person. Like they're from my hometown. What are they doing out here? But absolutely, the connection's really, really easy now, I think.
I don't think it's happened to me. Well, I'm a little bit younger, so it's not. I think it's harder right now to kind of do that
Mm,
because I got social media when it was. I went to wash eighth grade, so that was 2013, 2014. Wait, no, 2014, 2015. So I was 13 at the time. So, social media was already blown up, so it's kind of hard.
mhm.
And you kind of know everybody, being in middle school and near high school, you probably know everybody in the whole class, so
Yeah.
it's not really needed. Kind of really didn't know anyone outside the space. It kind of helps with family members a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, just kind of, you meeting, just say you haven't talked to your uncle or aunt or maybe your great grandma in many years. They have you can connect through via Facebook and all that, and it's just pretty easy to do. Just
Totally.
message them, say, okay, wow, it's nice to hear that because, or you can just call on the phone. That's a lot easier solution. But not, social media, you get to see more than what you get because phone call with your grandma, you're not going to get all that. You're not going to see the pictures unless she wants to text you, which at that point they don't know how to text. So you get more out of it because they
Yeah,
get to see
definitely.
your whole timeline, see the past and all that. Also to add on this, I don't know if no, I don't think I put this in here. Have you met like from have you met someone who's not high school friends and all that, like in the gaming space? Have you met any of your gaming friends in real life?
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of people in the Xbox Ambassador program that I've got to meet for the first time. This is why I'm kind of sad right now. E3 has been all online because this was, I feel like it's a really special part of the year where it's like, hey, my friends are going to TwitchCon or they're going to be at E3, and I finally get to put like a face to a gamer tag type of thing. So there's been a lot of situations where I've had the opportunity to hang out with people for the first time at cons and meet them, and it's really exciting because it's like, oh my God, they are real, like they're here. It's intimidating at first, but it's a lot of fun. I think it just brings you closer.
How many E3s, Twitch cons, like how many gaming events have you been to overall?
Ooh, that's a
Because
good
mine is just
question.
zero.
Oh, zero. Okay, that needs to change. You definitely need to go when they open up, because it's just so fun. But I've been, I think, to like two Twitch cons now. I've been to BlizzCon, which I have a lot of fun at as well, and then I think E3 maybe three times, not too many times.
Six.
But yeah, not too many, but I'm getting there.
I was interested in going to a Call of Duty League event. It's the
Mm-hmm.
esports side in Florida, and it was in April. I think April 10th through 12th. It's like, okay, screw it. I got a lot of time available. It's just a weekend. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
College and all. I really don't care that much about that school. I just studying and just looking at reading the same crap over and over again. So okay, I want to go there for a weekend. Tickets are a decent price, and COVID hit in March, so that
Of
just
course.
ruined everything.
Yeah, I hope you get the chance to. Esports events are a really, really great way, even if you don't necessarily know the crowd yet. I think a lot of people, it's like you have that instant connection because it's like, hey, I like this game, you like this game. It's pretty easy to start interacting with people. There's been some fun meetups I went to for Overwatch League a few different times, whether it just be watching the event as a whole or team specific, that I've had so much fun with. And it's like so cool to bridge into the community like that.
Oh, I have seen that before. I have noticed that where people they have like meetups at restaurants and all that.
Mhm.
Um, what team do you support in Overwatch League?
Totally
Because
100% Los Angeles Valiant.
oh, okay. So you probably been like, what were the meetups like?
Yeah, so there's been a few. I was really, really impressed with one a few years ago where they actually hosted a like women in gaming type of event where they had people of all calibers just kind of come and meet each other. You didn't have to necessarily be a girl or a woman or anything like that, but it really just wanted to highlight the accomplishments that they've done. But they usually bring out the players. Everything's really chill. There's been some low-key events as well that kind of happen at more at the restaurant scene too, where it's like, hey, this restaurant has games, come hang out. They're going to do a signing later. They'll do giveaways, but you kind of just get to see the fandom as a whole, and it's really, really cool.
So it's like a mini, just a mini fan meetup where it's just you don't
Yeah,
have the
meet and
big
greet
crowds.
type
It's
of thing.
just yeah,
Hmm.
it's just the stuff that's at a restaurant, so you get to eat your favorite food while meet the players at the same time.
Exactly.
I remember, I think I actually remember this seeing on the live stream. They had like at Minnesota Rocker team had like a restaurant. They showed the event like in a restaurant close to the. They were the first event of the franchise Call of Duty League, and they I think they had a restaurant nearby, and they had showed the fans excited.
Oh.
Where you can, yeah, they had like a I think it was filled all the way. It was a small restaurant. It was not like the size of like a Texas Roadhouse or something like that, where it's
Hmm.
like 200 seats, but I think it was like 100 seats or something. It was like people were excited about it. And that would be kind of great for the future of the esports. Kind of, hopefully they kind of show it more on TV because I think,
Hmm.
I went go to like a sports bar and all that bar on Sunday. They're just going to show football, and yeah, that makes sense. But like any other day, like just say like there's no football right now. You're going to have esports events in the future, mostly Call of Duty side. Maybe just you could probably show basketball whenever, maybe mix half the crowd. Maybe like for a sports bar, like half it's just sports. Maybe if there's esports live right now, you just have half fan base. You just mix the fan bases together, sports and esports, and try to make a interconnected relationship that hasn't really happened yet. But that would be kind of cool to see in the future.
Yeah, totally. I love that. I know too. Speaking of the sports side, the Kings, the NHL team, has had an esports night before, and
Yeah, I heard
I
of
think
that.
Valiant is like part of that somehow. So I got to go see. Like, I would probably never go see a Kings game, but I was there for that night because I'm like, okay, like I know other esports fans are gonna be there, so let me go check it out and see some hockey.
I think again, the Valiant has a lot of owners.
Mm.
Heads up, the Immortals Gaming Club, not really one of the most famous brands right now, but they have owners from the Memphis Grizzlies and AG. So that's what they had, like a lot of investors who were the Kings. They had a basketball owners and all that, so that's probably why they did it. This is
Mm-hmm.
also the same with the crap. What's that? Gladiators, which is owned by Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. So they had this for they probably had this with the Gladiators Overwatch team and the Gorillas Call of Duty team, where they came out to the Rams Stadium for a football game
Oh,
and
sweet.
introduced them. So yeah, they're starting to support it. This is also the same with the New York Excelsior. That sounds right.
Yep.
And New York Subliners, because they have ownership of the Mets, because the
Mm.
Mets some of the owners of the Mets run organizations. So that's kind of cool. They haven't really sports and all that into it. And also this happened with the Vikings too. The Vikings and the Rocker. So hopefully we kind of see them more in the future.
Yeah.
Next question I got for you is this one's we're gonna kind of go into the kind of good side. Um, to the bad side now. We'll probably get back to the good side soon. I don't know how many questions that'll be, but do you think cyberbullying is considered more harmful than regular bullying? And this is a two-part question right here. So you answer that one first.
That's a good question. I think they're both pretty harmful. I feel like in online bullying, there's a huge mob mentality that can have, so it could be more harmful in that sense. Like if one person says something and no one kind of fact checks, then it can really get out of hand and get scary in that sense and stuff. And I think too, online, it's harder to escape that. Like if you have a bully at school, you're going to school every day, which sucks. But then hopefully once you get home, like, okay, out of sight, out of mind for a little bit at least. But now with cyberbullying, it can literally just be on your phone all day and kind of haunting you and just bring you down, I think, in overall sense, like just all the time. So I can see how cyberbullying would be really, really difficult to, I think, escape, you know?
Well, it's I know you compare cyberbullying to regular bullying because there's no regular bullying. There's assault and all that. Like
Mhm.
you could get in a fight, pick them, but cyberbullying it just never stops because it adds on to it. Like you can block the guy as much as they want, but they're just gonna talk behind you like just say it's like one of the jocks is you're a small kid and small kid you just not bad, just gets picked on all day, just gets bullied for no reason, and then they keep piling on rumors and lies. Even if you block the person on social media, it still continues on. Next thing they
Mhm.
figured, especially in the gaming, um, this could also happen backwards too, where you could get in some big argument with someone on Xbox. They keep bullying you, kind of known each other for many years, and then they kind of find all the personal information, and then they kind of you worry about it too much. It's kind of easier if you haven't really met the person in real life, but it
Mhm.
could also still be kind of scary because cyberbullying is kind of dead. It could bring down your motivation, all that stuff, and you don't know what could happen. Like they could find your address. Not going to be likely. Well, it is likely with technology today, but you never really think about that. That someone could be you could be worried about. You could be sleeping at night and you don't know who's going to enter your house. Um, a little bit deep here, but enter your house. Just do something, and it was just because of Xbox interaction that you got trash talking on. Like
Mhm.
just something you haven't done. They just like to pick on you and just go on you for some reason, and spread rumors and lies, and it leads to it can harm the victim too. It harms the victim a lot, but it could also have a counter effect where there's built up anger because they're constantly getting bullied for nothing. So
Mhm.
something not doing wrong where they were a nice kid, maybe they just get bullied constantly, although they're not doing anything totally wrong. Sometimes it is their fault, but nothing that serious. They're not trying to be the bully, and then they end up being a bully and turns into another court case on the
Yeah,
other side.
totally.
So you forget about that. Second part of the question is, what was the most harmful message or dread doubt someone told you on social media or in regards to gaming?
Yeah, so something that kind of stuck with me even after all this time, a few years ago, I actually got a message kind of out of the blue from a name I didn't recognize that was just kind of bashing me and telling me how fake I am because on stream I'm just so positive and nobody's that happy all the time and why am I like putting on a front and stuff like that. And I was like kind of surprised because again, I didn't recognize this person's name, so I didn't really know where it was coming from. But if they watched me, for a few minutes, sure, it might seem like that. But I definitely have many days where things don't go as planned, and I'm just like, like everybody else, I have my hard days and stuff like that. But really, on stream, I try to bring positivity because I know people are going through their own issues as well. Like nobody really needs to be bogged down by what I'm going through. But if I do feel the need to talk about it, I know people will be there and be supportive and stuff. So I thought it was just like, I don't know, to kind of try to attack my character when I don't think that's the situation at all. Like, sure, my voice might be perky and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean like I'm just happy and my life is perfect. It's a moment in time where I'm trying to have fun and kind of let go of those stresses that I have in my personal life and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's been the most like odd one and kind of like, oh man, like the dig, it hurt.
Does this happen constantly? Like how many like in a week or something like that? How many like messages do you get that are kind of mean?
Yeah, I think I'm really fortunate. I don't really run into a lot of trolls and stuff like that. I also have some, moderators and everything like that who are really there for me. I'm going to have my back if something like that does happen. But I would say it's less than once a week now, fortunately. But there's times where it's like, oh, the wrong friend group comes across your stream or whatever, and then it's like, okay, how can we cause some terror? But it's never been too bad, luckily, on that front. So I'm very fortunate and hope it stays that way.
How do you like if you had to force something like that, like just say to stop or something like that? How would you try to force it? Would you either just explain it? How would you try to
Yeah,
force
so
someone who's trying to be a bully?
I think to me, probably because I am a little bit older, I understand that like when people come in and say mean things like that, they are just really begging for attention, positive or negative. They just like that's where I think the phrase like don't feed the trolls comes in, because they are just seeking and so hungry for anyone to pay them attention, whether it be good or bad. So for me, I really try to ignore it. If chat sees it, we're on to the next subject as fast as possible. There's definitely some days though where I see it and I want to like clap back a little bit and be like, that's all you got from me? Like, come on now. But I really try to not feed into it, because again, it just like fuels their fire. They're like, hee, I got a reaction. This
You
is what
just
I
ignore it.
wanted. No, yeah, exactly. Now I can go do it to somebody else or whatever. But yeah.
Oh, just curious. Some people like to, you know, some people like to just chat it up a little bit, and they're just like, wow, and just start, trying to roast them back and all that. And sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I have seen streamers. It's happened to the opposite side too. I have encountered streamers who, you know, streamers who try to perk up the mood of someone just because it's turning negative. I had done this once. In our stream where it's like I felt like someone was getting angry, trying to get angry, it's like getting too hyped up or like aggressive, and it's just calm it down a little bit, just because I don't, people watching this, people don't want to leave you, they want to see someone who's a little, people do like aggressive types on like as viewerships. Some people do like the positive mollies. I don't know if that sounds right, but we're gonna go for that. And so I told him just like calm it down a little bit. I just don't want your viewership to be hurt because, people are going to leave because you're rude and all that. They want someone who's pretty positive, at least decently positive, not a bad influence where it's just your chat's going to be toxic the whole time
Mhm.
because you're too anxious up. And they just, the person blocked me on the chat and blocked me from the chat for no apparent
Wow, that's
reason.
not what I was expecting.
Oh, I can give you the name. I might as well expose it because I think we can do it. Kenzert, KENZERTT. It's on Twitch. So there you go. So might as well expose the name. Goes up. If she sees this, well, you got to be a better person in chat. You got to be a nice, better influence, and that's what I try to do on streams too. It's anyone trash talks to me. I try to maybe try to not have it affect me. I'm gonna probably talk trash. Like I'm just trying to make it equalize. Like just try to have a balance. If you want to be angry at me, okay, I can try to my best to make it so it doesn't seem like I'm gonna boil over the chat. So,
Mhm.
but some people have a hard time doing it, or like it's because they have a big fan base that's kind of toxic. It's kind of hard to kind of cool them, and they like that because they like something that can just make them angry and motivated to just be
Mhm.
more aggressive. Uh, next question I have for you is: have you ever been concerned with the amount of social media followers that you have on each platform?
Personally, not really. I think I'm still really small overall. So if I don't know. I just don't think so. I'm not at that point yet where I really need to try to do that. Still in my eyes, it's more of like, okay, who am I really interacting with and stuff like that. That makes it more fun for me rather than the number count and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty content with where everything is for now.
Some people have been concerned about it. Would you like? Could this change? Just say like if you gain like a 50K followers and like a switch. or you won't don't ever worry about the numbers. If goes up, it goes up. If it goes up quickly, that's great. But if it stops at any point, it's like, what the heck am I doing wrong?
Yeah, totally. I think it's kind of normal to like self-criticize and be like, okay, what did I change? What did I do? Why is my growth stopping? Like, am I just not funny anymore? Type of thing. So I could absolutely see it at that point if it does get that big where the kind of like self-consciousness of it all comes into play and it's like, okay, what's going wrong?
Oh, okay. Um, have you, just have you made? Let's add this on. No, I just forgot the question. Have you ever made like changes to your approach to your streams because of what people said about you? Like just so you can possibly gain more viewers? Like, have you worried about the Twitch viewer count a little bit? Like, how can you make it increase a little bit, or just say, okay, just hopefully, I pray to God I get something just because of
Yeah.
my positivity.
I actually a few years ago, or maybe like a year ago, I'm not sure. So I added face cam to my stream. I really started from like literally only streaming on my Xbox at the beginning, not using mic because I was so scared I was gonna like stumble my words. So I didn't want people to make fun of me for that. But I slowly kind of built up to that, and I do feel like people think you'll only really be entertaining or make it bigger if you do have the face cam and stuff. But I've stopped that because I feel like, to me personally, like my expressions, they might be funny, but I don't think my looks or anything like that can really add to my stream. To me, it's more of like, now I'm stressed out. I got to make sure my face isn't looking a specific way or whatever, and that I'm ready for stream type of thing. Like, to me, it's just too much pressure when I really just want to play games and talk to whoever's down to hang out. So I've tried those things and I honestly don't know if they helped or not. I think it actually hurt me because people are like, "Oh, that's what she looks like." So it's like a little bit better of a mystery if I mean people can see what I look like on Instagram and stuff like that, but it's better for me, I think, mentally too, if I just like don't worry about it and I just, stream how I want to and hear the feedback, but don't necessarily follow it if it's not something I'm super comfortable with.
Have you ever thought about reintroducing it? Just once you kind of get out of that stigma, if you
Yeah,
ever like get out of that
totally.
stigma a little bit.
I think like it's more of like my motivation, like, okay, could I go on stream like with no makeup and stuff like that? Would I be okay with people seeing me how I normally am and not like, oh, this is America Girl 24 type of thing, where it's like, okay, I'm ready to be there 100%. Because I know people have gotten flack and stuff like that in the past, and I don't think anyone that I know currently would really care. But maybe it's just like not something I'm jumping at the bits to do.
Oh, just curious. There's been a couple of people who actually see it without kind of a face cam. One like who haven't revealed the full face yet. Not really
Mhm.
common that much. If you watch Among Us, I think a big name is Corpse Husband.
Mhm.
There's another H2 Delirious. That's a name I should know. If, so like it's the one with the hockey mask. If you watch his GTA 5 content, or like Pass and all that, he's got like 1 million followers. I don't think anyone has seen his face. Another one kind of relates to girls. Aches Gaming. I don't think she's revealed her face. I think I counted another streamer in the past for a different topic. Miss Giggles. I don't think she revealed her. There's a lot of people who haven't revealed their face yet.
Mhm.
And it's like people get. I think people like the curiosity too. It might be
Yeah.
harder for the curiosity for since you got the social media and all that, and you already post the person, people are gonna find
Mhm.
your social media, so it's not really hidden anymore. But just curious. I don't know. What's the difference? I don't really like. For me, I really don't care what I look like in the face cam that much. So, I'm just gonna like I do the streams in the morning, so I'm just wake up and saying, okay, whatever. I don't really care what people are gonna think about. What my looks are. I'm just gonna just grind the game. Whatever I'm gonna do, that's something I can just avoid and just
Mhm.
just because it's something I'm not really gonna think about. It's just, do I have to look that pretty? Well, Yeah, sometimes I would love, love to, put some makeup on it. Oh, guys really don't put makeup on. Just to, get that flare, get that nice ring light shine whenever I get a ring light. So I don't know. I just really didn't care about the face cam, but some people do get in. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Get worried about that because of the bullying factor. We can also add on to that too. But it's something I really didn't really kind of think about too much. But that's again, everybody has a different approach to stream as long as you kind of find the groove and find whatever works best for you, even if it doesn't really give you the followers and viewers that quickly. Then that's all you have to care about.
Hmm.
Next one question is going to be not really. This one's just kind of a cybersecurity question. Not I someone questioned me about this last time. What do you think of the apps slash platforms that give you that allow information that give you information on people who unfollowed you slash gave you free followers on any social media slash promote your tweets for payments? So it's like I don't know. I'm gonna skip this question. I don't think this is really a great question. I thought when I wrote this question, I thought it was pretty good. Um, but I don't know. On the follow part, it's not really people don't really worry about who unfollows you. This was a thing. I'll probably just answer the question myself. You don't really need to answer this, but I did worry about. This was like in the middle school slash high school days. I did worry about who unfollowed me because I kind of like, I followed them, and I expect like a follow to follow back. I used to do that on my Instagram because I was desperate for followers, and then people unfollowed me. Even some of the people I knew for many years because I didn't really talk to them anymore. It's like, wait, why? So I don't. That's not on my side. Just kind of not. Some people do worry about followers and all that, and that's who follows them because it's kind of a friendship thing. But it has been really like that for me in the last couple of years, and I don't think really people care about it anymore. If they follow you from social media, then it's whatever. Next question I got for you is: have you ever been concerned of what you post on Instagram slash Twitter slash TikTok that it can either cause controversy or can hinder your self-image, or could uh, self-image or self-image? What I mean by that is kind of hurts your overall personality in any way, like in
Um,
regards to your fame and all that.
Yeah, I don't think so for me. I mean, I keep everything really like PG anyways, just because I know, again, people on the internet and in the gaming space are really all ages. So it's nothing I've necessarily ever been too concerned with, because I know what my parents would not like to see and stuff like that. Like if someone, I remember when I was in, like, I don't know, elementary or middle school back in the AOL AIM days, somebody as their away message had like a curse word, and my mom was like, "You need to tell them not to have that in there." And I'm like, "This is so embarrassing. Please don't make me do this." So I think I'm kind of still scarred from that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it clean. No one has to have any issue with what I'm posting and stuff. So I've not come across that, luckily, but I could see how people would. Yeah.
Have you had people hate on you for posting something? Like, did you receive like negative comments, like excuse me, more negative comments than positive comments? For
Um,
what you've done on social media. Sorry, I'm having hiccups right now.
Yeah, you're all good. So I think the only things, like, nothing has necessarily been towards something that I've posted, but one thing I did unfortunately see when the Cyberpunk like filters came out with Xbox is people were then complaining about the game, when it's like, hey, it's not really about that. We're just like showing off this really cool AR feature that's brand new. So people kind of skew it to what they're mad about when it's the post isn't supposed to be about that kind of thing and stuff. But nothing, yeah, nothing too bad where it's like, oh my god, how could you ever say that or write that type of thing. So I've been fortunate.
So you probably have thought about getting political sometimes, especially with like getting like political when there was like an issue, or you just kind of okay, whatever. I don't want to post. You just for example, with I don't really want to talk about this, but like the U.S. Capitol attacks in the last five or probably a week ago. Like, have you thought about? It's like, wow, this is shocking for America. Like, you ever thought about post? Like, have you ever thought about almost posting like something that could have been political? Because that happens a
Um,
lot for Twitter.
Yeah, I haven't really just because like in Discord and things like that where I know it's on everyone's mind and it is a really serious matter. I kind of want people to just be able to do their own research and have their feelings and stuff like that, but I don't really want to contribute and be like, let's gather all this hate and stuff like that, at least just from my perspective because my content is so different from all of that. So I definitely encourage people to be aware of what's going on and to research and stuff like that, and make good choices if you can, for sure. But like for me, I don't really have anything that's going to be inspiring or um, something like that to say, which is how I would want it to be, rather than just like focusing on the negative side because that's already plentiful on there.
I have had this. And I have had this with TikTok recently. I
Mm,
posted it's got some over 700K views, and I've now realizing I kind of felt bad for doing it because it was supposed to be kind of a it was supposed to be like a funny, it's just like a response, like uh reiterate the words like from like a vine or something like that. So
mhm,
it's just like repeat the words, and it's like a conversation like one on one. So one person says one sentence, like one portion, and then once stops, and then someone continues it, and it's like a continuation. And just say it's like continuation sentence, except it's continuation post. Like every time they stop, then the person says the next part. Then when the video, the sound or person stops talking again, then it happens. All repeat the sentences, and it repeats over and again.
mhm.
I posted it. I thought it was pretty funny. It was a hilarious response because the person didn't know it right. And then I kind of, because I see the comments and all that, and it's like, I see like a couple comments, and one of the comments like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad.
Oh
Why did
no.
you do that to that person? And it was, it was like, are you guilty? No. And it was like something like that, and it was like I thought it was hilarious because the person didn't know what I was doing, but
Mm-hmm.
the person responded correctly to it, like properly.
Um,
And it messed up on one part, but responded properly to it, even if the person did not know what was happening.
mhm.
And I didn't think, and then I just see comments like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for this person. Why did this is not what they're supposed to use this app for, or whatever the
Mhm.
case is. I'm not going to explain. I don't want to get more um, hate and all that, but this, like, I had to delete some comments. I still have the video on there. I don't, I never really thought about deleting it because I don't think it was, some people might consider it a case of bullying. I do kind of now consider it a case of bullying, but it's something that I haven't really questionably taken down yet.
Mhm.
I could do in the future, but it's something that, I thought this was funny. I don't think it was meant to hurt anyone. Some people might believe it, but in my opinion, I don't think, it was just funny, but I don't think it was, people's comments do make it worse. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where it got wrong at that point. Um, Next question I got. What do you think about people, preferably females, having to look good on each social media post on Instagram or Twitter, so the fans won't bully the person's self-image, instead of people won't bully the person, instead of people on social media showing their true self
Yeah.
without intimidation.
This is a big one. I think it's really brutal. One positive of TikTok that I've seen and I've really liked is that people are not afraid, I feel like, to show their real selves and really try to push for that positivity, that like self-love type of thing. I know it doesn't always go over well and people still get flack for what they look like, but I think at least on there, it's like, oh my gosh, guys, I just woke up. This crazy thing happened. Let me tell you, let me jump in. It's like, you kind of feel like you're more connected to that person on like, hey, this is like, it's almost like this person's really talking to me. Like they feel real and stuff like that. When I look on Instagram though, it's very like, okay, somebody edited this in Photoshop. They took their time. They've got filters. They've got like professional editing on it and stuff like that. It's like you can't really see that stripped away version where it feels more like human to me. I know too, I actually was talking about this kind of recently where like some beauty gurus and stuff like that, like, yeah, they're known for their makeup skills, but you know that they still edit all of their photos and like they have pores. That stuff is really there. So although you're seeing their artistic and creativity and all that good stuff, it does feel like it's very fake. And I think people need to be reminded that hey, like so much of this stuff is not true to life and it really is a image of what they want you to see and not what is really there in the room or happening or things like that, you know.
Um, yeah, I gotta agree with that. I didn't feel like TikTok you can like I'm talking about the Instagram and Twitter part first and go to TikTok. Since we go from bad to worse. Good. Instagram, I feel like it's just kind of the beauty contest a little bit because it's pictures, it's solely pictures. It's not like it's a lot of opinions for a lot of posts. So you gotta try to look good, and that's how you get most of your followers. If you don't look good, then you know you're not gonna gain any followers. It's just a prettiness contest. Unless you're an athlete, then it doesn't really matter. Like unless you're already famous, but like just for like high schoolers or something like that, or like anyone who's starting to blow up, like you have to have that pretty factor. You know, you gotta be the Noah Beck ass and Ray type, you know, just that all that looks, you know, and a little bit of fame and also add on to that too. A little bit of popularity on a different app, but just the looks make them shine, and you know, other people who might not have the looks just, you know, it can also lead to bullying again because people like you know, when you know, just say you got say here, look here, I got like a scar in my eye. People are gonna just say I had a scar in my eye. We're just gonna go with what my finger is right now. Um, you know, people are gonna bully you for that, and you know, it just loss of self confidence, can't show your true selves. People, when you're kind of a fat, you know, not skinny, not with us, well, getting a little bit chubby. Like, just say if you do like a bikini pose, or like, you know, you're at the beach for a swimsuit pose for guys and all that, you know, just show a little chubby side, they're gonna call you fat, you know, elephant, uh big rhino. They're gonna get all these terms out of coming at you. You know, when you know, you got some problems with, you know, like, you know, you know, just say you amputated all that, they'll just call you crippled, handicapped, you know, all these harsh terms, because you know, it's showing what you are right now, but it's showing, you know, what you actually are like, you know, what you look physically. But it's not, that shouldn't really be defined, and that's kind of how people are defined as on Instagram, is by looks, and that's what the comment section is going to be filled with. Just like, damn, you look ugly. Damn, you look like a horse. The comment sections are really brutal and just kind of hurts confidence a little bit. You know, it's probably made even for the popular ones, the ones who have looks. You know, they receive one of those comments and they kind of go up in a cry me in a river stage. And that's the hard part about it. Twitter, it's very opinionated. You know, that's where I got to go with it. Just people don't always agree with your opinions all the time, you know, whatever it is, that's where it can lead to more bullying and all that. And that's what happens on Twitter. It's just very opinionated, and it's never, unless, and you're always going to have two opposite sides, and the sides are going to be really tight. Like, a lot of people favor you, a lot of people won't favor you, and it's just a constant feed of people arguing with each other. And on your post, although it's supposed to be positive, or you know, just say some little bit of bullying. But TikTok, I feel like you get a lot more. Again, you mentioned it, just kind of your true self a little bit. You get a lot more freedom to post whatever. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, it's a little bit of fun app. You know, Twitter and Instagram are like more serious. Supposed to be more. Well, maybe not Twitter that much with professionality, but we'll say that for so. But for Instagram, there's a lot of professionality with it. You know, you gotta look good. That's kind of in your mind a little bit. For a lot of these people, maybe not. For a lot of people, especially with the people I went to high school with. Just kind of they have a lot of followers. They always try to post the best pics of themselves, and that's what their feed is. You know, whenever they feel like they look good. It feels like they're not going to receive any body shame hate or beauty hate. You know, that's going to happen. You know, they're going to post it, but they're not going to post the bad side. You know, that's something they leave on maybe a Finsta page to where it's private. You know, not everybody's going to see it, or maybe, you know, any funny videos they post on TikTok. And, you know, TikTok, it's a mixed, but a lot of times it's just, you know, just say, I don't know what I'm trying to say. There was this, oh crap, see, this is what happens to me. See, this is why I can't do TikTok, because but this is funny for, kind of interesting for TikTok too, just kind of me messing up my words. And that could be like gaining me a million views, but, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, even if it's, you know, you getting hurt or something like that, or, you know, there's some posts where it's like kind of bullying and that sucks. But mostly it's just showing your funny side, your true self, without, you know, you will receive hate sometimes, but it won't be constant hate, or it won't like shed anything unless it, you know, people really get more and more personal. So yeah, on that topic, I know it's very, I don't know where I went. I feel like I talked about that right, but again, I think that's the way I go with it. Just Instagram and Twitter a little more serious. TikTok is just fun in the house.
Agreed.
Next question I got for you is, what has been the effect of society socially since the growth of social media slash phones?
Yeah, it's been interesting in a way. I think it's like absolutely amazing because we're able to just like connect instantly with so many other people. It's really easy to, I think, find your kind of like group online and stuff like that. But as well, there's so many negatives as well. I feel like it's just so easy to spread things that are not true. And because there's people don't want to fact check, or they just have the misinformation, they think things are true even when they might not be and stuff like that. So it's had a lot of positives, but I think a lot of negatives in that as well. But I mean, it's, to me, I am just so amazed that yeah, like I definitely would not be here with you if it wasn't for social media and the internet and stuff like that. So I'm appreciative of it because there are a lot of cool aspects of it for sure.
I got I feel like with society, you do see a lot more, you know, a lot more easier chance to get famous, but also I feel like this has ruined society. You know, I got you know, the fame part, yeah, that helps a lot, but, you know, you also add on the cyberbullying. You kind of add on, you know, worrying about the self images too much. The phones part, people getting too addicted to it, where you don't have a lot of social connection, meaning social connection. Like I had, you know, I had people in the house, same room, like, you know, just for example, they're in the same room, but they have to text each other. I
Hmm.
know you can show them on the phone. Just go up to the face, bring your phone, show up to them. It's like, wow, that's a cool picture. No, you got to text it. Well,
Hmm.
unless it's you know, stuff they need, you know, cooperation stuff. But, you know, they're in this like same room. You know, at parties, they're just texting the whole time because they have a phone. They don't want to socialize, even if they're scared of socializing.
Hmm.
It just feels. I'll go in this in a couple questions, but it feels like you lose that social interface you had with what was in the past. Like, imagine like when I didn't have a phone. Maybe I was more talk.
Hmm.
I don't remember if I was really more talkative, but it feels like you want to be more talkative because you don't have something to kind of hide, you know, stop you from it, like hide yourself with. Like, do you how like this is a question. See, I'm adding like questions while I'm midway through this show. How addicted do you get to your phone for you?
Um, yeah, I'm unfortunately probably pretty addicted. I definitely like to be in the know and know what's going on. I really don't want to miss like notifications and stuff like that. When usually like nothing that comes in is ever like that urgent and that important, where it's like if you don't answer now, something bad's gonna happen, or you're gonna miss out on an opportunity of a lifetime. Like things can
Nice
wait
Donald
instead.
Trump voice right there. That sounded like a Donald Trump voice.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I definitely like if my internet goes out at home, I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing everything. Life is happening and I don't know anything about it right now, which really sucks. So unfortunately, I probably could put my phone down a bit more, that's for sure, and take a break. But I don't know if I want to.
That's the same thing. It's like I kind of want to do, I got to do homework or study for something. I just like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like doing this. I'll just go on my phone.
Mhm.
And it has happened where it just like I sometimes when it's like I'm not really a outgoing person where I just like I'm the most social where I don't need it, but like if I do small crowds, it's fine, but it's fine. Maybe like a couple people, but when it's like a like prom, I was on my phone for most of the time. I didn't really
Mm,
want because I didn't I'd hang out with other people who didn't really want to talk or like over socialize because that's me. So I went on my phone most of the time because again, I wasn't really the most talkative in high school or like with other people. I don't know. I was not bullied or anything like that. I was not hated. I just was not the most outgoing where I could really talk to them like just about like cool stuff. But I was fine where I wasn't really just not the hate, just kind of really didn't got going. I just kind of used the phone as a backup,
mhm,
unless I was getting talked to or unless I really feel like one listening in. But I was just like a bystander. So that's what I use the phone for. Um, or just like yeah, that's kind of where I use it. Like I just like especially when meeting new people, like meeting a couple new people, like just say if I go to a party or something like that, I'll probably just be on most of my phone. But I'm trying my best to try to be more outgoing. That's kind of what's happened overall with social media and mostly with phones, not really the social media side a little bit. Um, it's just you get so addicted to it that you kind
mhm.
of forget about social action. And also, I feel like also add this on. I feel like social media ruins like famous places. You ever think like you think about that? Like,
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like for so many of these like famous places, it's like, oh, I feel like I've been there because everyone has posted about it type of thing. But in a sense, I kind of love that like as well because there's so many places I will definitely never get the chance to visit. So I kind of like seeing what is happening and stuff. But at the same time, if it's like people are doing things that they should not do, like if you're filming in a sacred area, please stop it immediately. Like share the public areas, like the really cool buildings and stuff from the outside. But I think there's definitely still a line that's drawn, and people will cross it anyways, just for the views type of thing.
yeah, I feel like if you maybe this helps like maybe for like Los Angeles, so like the Hollywood sign, you gotta it's a nice view of the mountain right there. Just take a quick picture. You don't need anyone. Like
Mm-hmm.
people spend about 10 minutes trying to take a picture of themselves on the Hollywood sign. It's like, what's the difference? Hey, what's the matter? How good of quality? At least you get the explored area. Like I would just
Mm-hmm.
like if I was gonna take a picture, I would just like not have anyone in the pictures. I would just take the sign by myself. I would just point it out there, not do a selfie. I would just take the picture of the sign and just look out, look at the rest of the area and
Mm-hmm.
see. Because you're on a mountain, and you're in a hill or mountain. I don't know how high it is, but you get to see the rest of the places. Like Great Smoky, they take a picture. Great Smoky Mountain, they take a picture of Gatlinburg and all that. Like what's like a skyline view overview or maybe a tower, just take a background picture of the mountains. But I feel like with the mountains in the background, I feel like just the pictures and all that, I don't know, I just feel like the beauty is ruined when you include other people in it. It's like
Yeah, that's fair.
the Hollywood sign just it looks so one, I don't know, it's like a mountain or something like that, or like some natural phenomenon. I feel like you don't need to include another person. Well, unless it's Great Canyon, but like just say it's like Great Smoky Mountains. You don't need to include other people in it. There's
Mm-hmm.
some places you don't need to include other people in it,
Yeah, definitely.
unless it's a McDonald's parking lot. Well, McDonald's, but
They go
eh,
crazy.
yeah, they will. Um, Next question I got for you is: what do you think of dating apps evolving to be the main source of finding love?
That's really interesting because I think with COVID and everything being shut down, like It's probably very good that those exist because I don't know how much interaction is happening. Well, hopefully not a lot. Hopefully people are behaving and wearing masks and social distancing and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's kind of natural, you know. People, like we were talking about, on their phones and stuff like that. It seems way more intimidating, I feel like, to have to go up and talk to somebody. And if they're using that phone as a way to be like a blocker, like, do not contact me, I am not engaging with anyone, then it just seems like a natural way to then progress and, you know, meet people. And I know too, with like Bumble and stuff like that, there's even friendships and stuff. There's more groups that aren't necessarily just around dating and all that, but just like finding a friend group in general who could be local and all that good stuff.
I honestly do not like dating apps. I have no.
Mm.
I did use it for I used it for TikTok purposes in the past,
Mhm.
um, and that's the only reason I use it. But I cannot see myself using dating app. That's the only reason I used it, not for me trying to find love. Like I feel like the dating apps do work for a lot of people, but like, what are you gonna tell the story? First thing, you do it via the internet, so you don't. It's really anonymous. So you don't really know much about a person besides texting. That's texting. Yeah, you might know a little bit, but you know you can't. It's hard to tell, like kind of what
Mhm.
they act around, because you can't tell what they act around. You know what they act unless you kind of. It's easier for like high school and college students because you kind of spend a lot of time with them. You kind of know how they act. It's easier, find relationships that way, because you know how other people act. But you do online, it's like you don't. You know, you might know what they look like. You know what their interest is, but you don't know how their attitude is because that's what's hidden from it. And you know, you can't forget about. You know, also it's just feels like to me, do like for me, I do not want to get married to some like it feels like a depressing love story. Like
Mhm.
how like imagine your grandkids like your kids ask you, let's say I'm me and my wife, like my little son's like, how did you guys meet? How did you guys Daddy, Dad, how did you meet? And then like I asked my kids, it's like online dating, and then like they want him. Really? Yeah, they say really to me. They're gonna say really to me. It's
Mhm.
like they seem disappointed and they know that. Really? Online dating? You lame. And that's like that's what's gonna happen. I just cannot see us. You know, it's probably gonna happen. I'm not gonna say 100%. But I'm gonna. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but I'm trying my best. You know, trying to get more social so I can possibly have a. You know, I don't even want to talk about dating life right now, but just say because that's something I want to keep out of this. But just try to be more. Help the socialization skills so I can you know, get into a relationship. That's also for other people, getting into a relationship where you just feel more confident, you know how the person acts. So, you know, it could possibly work without having the hidden consequences of not knowing how people act,
Mhm.
knowing all the fun stuff they do, but not knowing their overall personality. Personality and kind of seeing how they act is um, more influential to a long-term relationship than what does the person look like
Mhm.
and what do they like. And I feel like I don't know. I don't think I kind of wish they got rid of dating apps. I think it's just bad for confidence reasons. I think it's just kind of bad overall. I don't think they're going to remove them because it has been really successful. It's been successful in many people, but it's just something that I don't know. I just can't do. And I just you mentioned about the friends part in Bubble. Yeah, that's I think I saw that in Bumble. Where you don't have to match up trying to find a date. You can find someone who you want to be friends with and all that,
Mhm.
just like friend purposes. But I just can't do it for dating. I just don't. It just feels depressing to me.
Yeah.
Um, that's my mic. Okay. Next question I got for you is I'm just curious. What is your case? So just say you're in a public private setting with anyone. What is your case of cellular phone use in a public private setting with anyone who you consider close to you, like friends or family, even when on a date?
Like, is it rude or not type of thing?
No, just like like that, like strict, like not rude, but what would you think about it? Like if that happened.
I mean, I could definitely see it being awkward if you're like hanging out with friends and then someone's on their phone the entire time, for sure. But I mean, if someone's being engaging and stuff like that as well, then I don't see an issue with it. I know like I'm definitely on my phone a lot, so I wouldn't want someone to be like, okay, no, you have to sit here and just like stare at us or whatever if there's like not that natural like conversation happening and stuff like that. So I think there can be an overload. I'm sure like when you're younger too, it's like, oh my God, I just want to talk to my friends. Like, let me just be type of thing. But now that I'm older too, it's like, okay, like let me spend time with my family and actually like spend time with them and stuff since I don't get to see them as often and all that stuff. But yeah, I could see both situations, I guess.
Um, okay, let's also add this. How about would you how in like for a restaurant setting, not really with friends or family, just say you at a restaurant or like on a date, like would you immediately leave the like if someone went on your like just without like just in case unless they got an important phone call they have to handle or something like that. What happens if like you're at a like a five like a date night and someone used their phone? Like
Um,
what would you do?
yeah,
And
I
this
don't
was a
see like
first date, not
uh,
a first date, not like a reoccurring thing where you guys have been in a relationship for like 3 to 6 months, and
yeah,
you
I
date
think
people.
it depends on the situation. Like if there's a lull and you know the connection or whatever is not there, then it's like, yeah, let's just do our own thing while suffering through this together type of thing. But if you're feeling it and then the person's really distracted, it does feel like disrespectful or like, well, why am I here type of thing if you just want to play on your phone or whatever type of thing. So I think it depends on how like you're feeling in the moment, but also it's like it's probably not a good sign.
I would just if just say I went on a date, I would leave the date immediately. I would absolutely leave the date, no matter how good two shoes she is. To dink to me, if she, further dates, I really don't care. Maybe, but like the first couple dates, just say we're going out, just for a fun night, and all that. That's just like later, like we have a deep relationship. We've been out, dating for like 3 to 6 months. Yeah, that's fine. But like the first couple, like first, unless I guess it's the phone call thing, or like you have some important business to do, while like just something comes up, while you can reschedule a day. It doesn't really matter that much.
Mhm.
But some people really. You never really, you don't know what's going to happen with, business wise for a lot of people. They got an important phone call that they got a phone call, he wants to check it real quick. Yeah, that's fine. But it's like when you got, just say, excuse me, I got a phone call. Excuse me, got a phone call. Can I go leave the situation for a while? Then then I'll get back to a face-to-face conversation. Yeah, that's fine. Unless you gotta tell me what it is. Just don't say, just don't try to lie to me about it. But if you go on your phone, just looking at Twitter for more, Twitter and all that, even if I'm not really, it might happen to me because I'm not really the greatest conversation wise. I'm not really the most outgoing, but that's something that gotta hopefully it won't happen. But there's a reason why you wanted to go on a date with me. So
Yeah.
let's do face to face, phones us other times. But like getting on a date, I would just leave. I would absolutely leave the restaurant. The problem is I gotta drive her back. Nope, I'm not driving her back. I seem like a dick, but that's what I would do. I would not if we didn't order like just say we didn't order the food. Just say it's the start of the date. We didn't order the food. Well, we ordered the food. I would leave. I won't eat. Just leave the food there. She will have to pay for the rest of the thing, and I'm not paying. I would just leave and just I hope. And the problem is we're gonna see each other again, and then we're gonna get in a big fight, and it's like, oh, that's your fault for being on your phone. That's not my fault. I know I didn't pay for you. I know I left you at the restaurant. I know you had to probably call one of your girlfriends over, to go get yourself, get a call an Uber to But you want to be on your phone on a date for constantly most of the time while I'm talking to you, trying to feel that get that connection. No, I'm not. I'm sorry, and I hopefully this won't happen. But that's something I would do. I would just leave, and I know most of the people it's probably gonna be watching this like, oh my gosh, this guy Viper's a dick. He's gonna ditch ditch someone who cares. Why'd you go on a date then if you know this is gonna you're gonna ditch him and you're just gonna have her pay for that? It's like, you're so rude, man. It's just to get all these hate messages. Well, don't be on your phone in the first place on a date, and that's what the lesson you're gonna learn. That's where I gotta go with the whole story. That's a big of a rant right there, but
Yeah,
you
there's a whole
gotta make.
situation there.
Yeah, you got. It's got to be more descriptive with it. Um, but with the friends and family, it doesn't. Well, that's gonna happen. Maybe I'm waiting for something, but I would try to get off my phone as much as possible, even.
Mhm.
Um, but that's something I really don't really worry about. And even when I go out to eat with friends and stuff, I try to keep the phone down too, not use it that much unless I want to show them something. But the date part, that's the one I'm really going to be really restrictive on, like one-on-one. Unless it's a one-on-one guide, hanging out with my buddy, then which might be considered a date. But that's with going out to a sports bar, then I really don't care. But like a formal date, that's where I go for with it. Next question. Would someone like you prefer to use FaceTime slash Skype to communicate personal feelings? Uh, or would you still do the traditional method of face-to-face conversation? So what I mean by this is just say you're going with your feelings, you're getting frustrated, angry, you want to talk with some of your friends, you want to talk to your friends and all that, by, about your feelings and all that. Or like maybe in your relationship, you kind of get angry, want to talk about it. Would be more, what would you do with the FaceTime or Skype method or slash Skype method or any kind of call method, or would you do face to face?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I feel like either of them are pretty viable. I think face to face is always the best because you can really see that person's emotions and stuff like that right then and there. And it's not like, oh, my connection's bad, I miss what they said type of thing. But if you're able to communicate, face to face or even with voice, I think anything is better than having to type it out and having somebody try to interpret that like through text and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, face to face, it sucks because hard conversations are never easy and stuff, but at least then it's like, okay, hopefully we can kind of walk away from this on the same page. And I'm sure things will get like emotional and stuff like that if it's a hard conversation, but I think it's healthy and it's still something good to strive for if possible. I know like with a lot of my friendships, they're all very distant and stuff. I have a lot of like online friends that I don't necessarily get to see regularly in person. So it's really not easy to just be like, hey, let me talk to you. Like I've got a bone to pick with you type of thing. So it's tough now, I think, but yeah, that's what you can strive for, I guess.
Have you, um, well, it's me. Oh, what am I trying to say? Well, I'll answer my part of the question first, then I kind of come with what I was about to say. But I feel like the face to face, yeah, you're right, is just a lot more meaningful, like emotion wise. It feels like you get your true self out because you can't lie about us. Like, well, FaceTime and Skype, you're not gonna really lie about it that much. Well, you could lie about it, but it feels like you can. Well, you're gonna see your face anyways, but it feels like you get to kind of feel like see their emotions more clearly, more vibrant. Like, you know, you can tell if they're lying or not, or being truthful, and it feels it's. I know it's harder because you can always just end up hanging up the call, but when a face to face, meaningful conversation that could end up brutal, it just feels like it could have more. You can't really hide it, or you have more of an impact, and that's what you got to consider into those conversations. That could be really hard. I'm kind of repeating myself many times, but that's okay. Um, was it the FaceTime Skype? I just can't do it. That's not personal enough. Well, I already said that, but how often do you kind of go into these conversations where you got to go into meaningful, deep conversation? It doesn't and all personal and that, and you kind of do the face to face yearly, or do you
Uh, yeah, for
like
me,
having to
it's
go
not
in these
often.
conversations, these
Yeah, I
deep
think
conversations?
things for me luckily are not like that intense, but I've definitely had like rough patches with friends and stuff like that, and it sucks because it's like, well, no one wants it to be like, no one wants their friendship to be tough and have rocky moments and stuff. But yeah, I'm really grateful for the friendships that I do have, and I'm even more thankful for the people who are able to stick around through these rough patches and stuff like that too, because like at the end of the day, you care about them a lot as a person, and you just, I think a lot of people just want their friends to find happiness, and if that means, hey, we don't talk for a little bit, sometimes that's the solution, and things work themselves out after time and stuff like that. But yeah, luckily not too often. I wouldn't say it's a yearly habit or anything like that, but um it's tough. Friendship is hard, and I think both people are growing and stuff like that too, so it's to be expected, and it's not anything that's wrong. It's just like a normal part of being a person.
Okay, I was just curious, because it could be common for a lot of people, because it's common with the not really the guys side, where they kind of do the personal side, but a lot of females, they kind of like to talk to others about the personal feelings, all that, even if it's not towards them, just
Mhm.
talk about other stuff. So I was just curious if you kind of do that when it's not directed towards, like, talking about how hard your life is, all the stress you're doing without someone else. Next question I got for you. This one's going to be a really long one. This is going back to gaming. Knowing that gaming is considered a career path that you can make money off of just by streaming, by Twitch slash YouTube, or uploading on YouTube your gaming experience on social media platforms. Do you have do you have any concern on how many views your videos on YouTube, or the amount of donations and views you have on Twitch, knowing that if it declines at any point, it can screw up your life in some way? Mostly, this is meant for people. This question was kind of more meant for people. It's like, first question is, is this like a full-time career, like with streaming and all that?
Yeah, for me, it's just a hobby. I have a full-time job and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I'm very fortunate in that sense. But yeah, I could see the I guess intensity and kind of not so secure feeling if this is your full-time job. Like you are in the social media or live streaming or video type of career and stuff. And I've seen a few things happen just watching YouTube over the years, like the adpocalypse and things like that, where people who had this steady income for years, all of a sudden it's like everything is swept away because now advertisers are scared to go on this platform, and it's just like there's nothing the content creator can do. It's nothing that they personally did, but now it's really affecting them. So I could see how that would be really scary. And one thing I do want to mention that I really like is influencers and YouTubers, kind of like Emma Chamberlain. She actually has branched out and then created some other type of company. So she has like her coffee company. I know she does merch and things like that. So it's not so all of my eggs are in one basket and I'm only making money from videos. Let me see what I can branch out to and gain some more security and creativity in those senses. So I definitely want to encourage people to do that if they are pursuing, social media and they're able to expand out, like look into that stuff, because there's just so many talented people out there that I don't want people to like limit what they're able to do and yeah, fall on unfortunate times because you just really don't know what's going to happen. Like on these different media platforms, just like it's very unpredictable and it can be scary.
It could not be the fame. Sometimes it might not be the fame. It could be because of what you post. Just say something
Mm-hmm.
controversial. It can just harm your career. We can go with a good example. This um, let's go with the Gabby show. I think it's one of them I know, but I know she got in trouble. Lied about a situation once, about Rice Gum lying about something and it wasn't true. Rice Gum told the truth. Gabby Show did, and then all the hate went into Gabby Show, and then now she doesn't really have the same fame as she was like 4 or 5 years ago when she was blowing up on Vine and social media when she was popular on Vine and all that. She not the same fame. It's a lot for a lot of these other influencers too. I don't really know about stream. I think I know a couple of streamers. This was the same thing. Good example. This wasn't really affect. It didn't really affect it that much. But it was Myth. Um, he was popular. You know, just got these high boom stages, then it just drops, and how lucky he got it back up. You remember, Myth was like averaging 20, 30K viewers on Twitch. He was one of the most popular Fortnite players on the world. And then, Fortnite died a little bit, and then, you know, he was talented at Fortnite too. And once, he went to a couple events, he wasn't really that talented, and Ninja started blowing up, and, people left Myth. Myth was not really averaging the same amount of viewers. He was averaging like 3 to 5K. And now he's back up to where now he got lucky, he started posting Valorant content, and he got blessed again by now he's probably averaging uh, 20 to 30K viewers a stream. So he's back up to what his normal amount. So he got lucky, but sometimes a lot of influencers don't have that. And it's a good thing that you kind of have a job on the backside. That's something that I think a lot of people don't consider. Um, because once you become a full-time streamer and all that, it might be hard to get a job, especially with COVID right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of want to back up. Like I think sometimes maybe you want to start late for your career. Maybe you want this as a hobby. Maybe you want to start streaming now. Stream whatever you can, whatever time you can. Not at a consistent, might not be a consistent schedule, but whenever you have the opportunity to stream, just stream because you don't know what could happen. And maybe just someone like me who's a college student, try to get a college degree at the same time, focus more into college. Maybe the stream is a hobby. You can make money off stream, a little bit of a side gig, but, try to complete whatever you can do in college or maybe get a stable job, still work a job until you feel like this is going to be enough confidence. But I think the college option is a lot, college options a lot more easier. Even a stable job could work. Just say you work in the mornings, like 8 to 9 to 5. Not really preferred hours for any American. That's but 9 to 5. Just you got an apartment all 9 to 5. You make a little bit of money on the side, and then maybe start streaming 2 hours later, 7 to 12. You got 5 hours to stream. You get, maybe you're popular viewer. You maybe raised enough money to get yourself a nice streaming setup. To try to build on that. Having a nice streaming setup helps a lot. You build enough of a community right there. You get the viewers, late night streams. You get lucky. A lot of people like to get. It might be hard because a lot of people stream at night, but it could be easier because that's a great opportunity. You get lucky, you blow up. You might not have to work a 9 to 5 job again. You might do this consistently. You're like, okay, I worked a 9 to 5. It's not like it's every day. Maybe it's like 3 times a week. Whenever I have days off, maybe it's just a chill day. Maybe it'll probably be the chill days in the rest, the mornings and afternoons and nights. So just be back to streaming, do that consistently. And, at least you got a stable job and you make you got Twitch as a side dish. The main entree, let's go with food. I like food. Like you got a steak, like, steak is a job. It's the backbone. It's a filet mignon. That's perfect. You got a stable job. You got, you got a degree with it. So, maybe a college degree. And then you got the side dish. It's like it's like the French fries, the broccoli, maybe like this, that's the streaming. And then maybe being able to own a house. Sorry, um, main food, that's the steak, that's the stable job. The mashed potato, French fries, broccoli, that's the streaming, whatever money you make, and then donations, maybe that's the dessert, how much money you make off donations, you know. Yeah, well, having a stable career is the sides, the desserts, donations, and then the whole entree. You'll be able to get yourself a house, and you make enough stable money where you got a little money left over. You can buy yourself a nice Lamborghini Aventador, based off your streaming career. So that's a good analogy right there. Never really considered that. That's a pretty good dish too. Um, is there next question? That was a long, this is a long part for me. Is there a possibility to establish the personality of a person based on their social media presence on their presence on social media?
Yeah, I totally think so. I feel like there's a lot of like larger streamers or people maybe that aren't in the gaming scene, but I've like heard of, and it's strictly because of clips or things like that on their social media where it's like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard about them. I know about them, even though I've like never really seen any of their content. So I think 100%, your social media and stuff like that can really give people a look into your personality, at least what you like to portray, because I'm sure things are not always like that 24/7 and stuff. But I definitely think you can get a pretty good idea of what somebody is like, if their presence is really there and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that because a lot of people could again the thing you have to also consider a lot of people like to lie on the internet. Like you can see this a lot. Like that's not they want you got a lot of stream want because that's what they gotta make. They have to stand out. They have to be unique.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't get unique. You could get lucky that you could be maybe someone like you in the future could get lucky that I'm trying to be positive. That's your true personality. Um, you know, over all the time, 24/7. That could get you the enough followers and fame to get all the viewerships, and that personality doesn't isn't based off totally social media. You gotta kind of do it in real life too. That's the hard
Mhm.
part because no one, like a lot of people on social media, a lot of followers probably don't know how you act. Well, probably unless you explain to them unless you explain them constantly, or you mention to them that your overall personality outside the game because they only know you inside the gaming realm, but they don't know outside the gaming realm.
Mhm.
So you have to keep that. That's what the unique part is, and I feel like that hurts a lot of times that you never really consider.
Mhm.
But I've, hmm, but I can't really determine because again, social media is hard because people like to, they might look, they might look pretty, they might look, you know, look like the nice girl, but they nice person, nice guy, nice girl, and all that, and they turn into the jock, the douchebag, the ballerina Barbie doll. Um, you know, I don't want to. Well, we're gonna say this. I don't really want to say it. Horror. That is honest. In real life and personality, it's kind of hard to tell because you can see their Instagram. The Instagram pics. The personality stream. They seem so nice. Because that's sometimes they like. It's how you get viewership, but you don't know how they do outside game because you only see them inside. Only your friends and family know how you act outside the game. So that's something that gets hidden, but I feel like sometimes it does um, have that personality. It is possible to kind of determine it. Yet that's the actual personality, but a lot of times you think, yeah, it's not. It's a lot. It's got to be not true.
Yeah, I feel like too, there's a lot of pressure for people who are big on social media to kind of be on and like entertaining all the time. And I definitely like have I need to recharge. I do not want to talk to anybody, like type of moments and stuff like that. And I will say for myself, like in person, I am very shy. That's one of the things I was hoping that like streaming and it really has helped me kind of overcome because if you were to come up to me in person, I would be like shaking. I'd be like, I'm gonna say everything wrong. I'm gonna turn bright red. So like I think on stream, it's easier to for me to act like I'm a little bit more confident and hopefully actually gain some of that confidence as well, because it's like, hey, these people are here on their own free will. They want to hang out. So I can be way more upbeat and welcoming. But in person, I'd be like, oh my God, this person wants to just leave and it's so awkward. And now I'm just stuck here and they just wish they were not here. So I can kind of see all aspects of it for sure.
Yeah, it does give you a sense of confidence that can go in the opposite term, like the social, maybe outside of gaming you're not really that talkative, but inside it could, you like the chat, you like the chatter, chatty, and that's great to see that you kind of had that confidence. You start, you know you're shy in real life, but outside, you feel like you're you're like the talk, you're like the uncle at a cookout, just over friendly, friendly, but over friendly, or like just really outgoing. And that's, it's great when you kind of your personality fixes um when it comes back, like outside
Mhm.
it's sometimes shy. Inside gaming, you're confident, and then it can build back up to your outside
Mhm.
game portion, and you never really think about it too much. So that's great, and that's kind of helped me a little bit too. Maybe not much in the recent times of COVID, but that's has helped people. But it hopefully it just doesn't really turn where you have two different personalities that you
Mhm.
just keep hidden from yourself. Next question I got for you is: TikTok and vlogging has been growing in the last 2 to 3 years, in which they tend to perform these acts in public. How does society act when they see these people do what they do in public? And have you? Let's go with that one first, and I got a second part to that question. Like when
Uh,
this one's confusing, I know. How does society act when they see these people do what they do in public? Uh, mm. So when you see someone do a TikTok live, like how do you think people react?
yeah, I think it can be a little weird or a little awkward. I guess it depends what they're doing. If it's like a prank video and people don't know that they're part of it, I think it's kind of messed up. Like, obviously, you want genuine
Genuine,
reactions,
yeah,
yeah. But like, if someone is not volunteering for this and it's some random stranger and you're like throwing a box at them or something, like, please no, like it's the worst. But I think there's like some that are fine. I remember like when dance mobs or whatever were huge and those were like blowing up on YouTube and stuff, where it's like, oh, all of a sudden just like one random person's dancing and then everyone joins in. Like, okay, there's nothing harmful there, and it's kind of like, oh my God, like, oh, I was there, I was watching that, and it was so crazy to see live or something. So I think that is more okay, and people are a little bit more accepting. But I, it's hard. It depends on the type of content, I think, for sure.
yeah. It's got to be the same for me. It's just kind of you don't know, it's matters and it's harmful. Sometimes you get lucky, it's pretty good. But a lot of people do it for the fame also, because
Mhm.
you see, just say you see Acid Ray or Emma Chamberlain or maybe a Bryce Hall or David Dobrik. David Dobrik vlogging. You know, just some content. Just like one of the people he usually hangs out with, and you just in the background, you just want to show all the attention. It's like David, and that's like you want that. And it's like, yeah. So they want the fame, because you don't know, because you could be famous just based on being in the background. That's happened to a lot of people too. Just like
Mhm.
just being getting the lucky right time, and you turn out to be a meme and fun, get the person out. I think those happen to a lot of people, but I don't really have list of names, but you could get that luck. But yeah, you never really know what's gonna, it just seems odd. Just especially when you're doing something like embarrassing, it's just like, why is he doing that? Like you could do that
Yes.
in private and all that. It's like it just doesn't make sense.
The first time
Like,
I saw some kids doing a TikTok dance like in public, I was just like, why is this the scenery? Like, I didn't totally understand just why here, why
oh, I was
now
gonna
type of
ask you
thing.
that. I was gonna ask you that. Have you seen anyone vlog or TikTok while doing your usual deeds?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I was actually at the Microsoft store back when I was streaming there, some kids did set up their phone right outside the doors, and it's like it's all glass windows, everyone can see them, but they just like went to town, they did their dance, and then they like kind of packed it up and went and stuff. And I was like very confused, but it was also like very amusing. But like go them for the confidence to just like do it in public and not really care that literally everyone is watching them. But I have to say, like, as a spectator, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's good. Like, oh my gosh, like I sometimes you just don't want to see it, but again, you're gonna see it because people do like doing it in public. I would love to do that. Just say like do something like that, like a TikTok, like some famous TikTok, and just do it like just by a group of people and just like one of those dance mob things.
Hmm.
Just like see who follows me. Just it might seem like the most random dance, but just like who can follow what I do. Just say like I don't know, like some odd walk or something like that. See if people copy me and we get like a famous TikTok or something like that. Would
Hmm.
you? I'll do it. Maybe it's not. I would love to get paid for it, but you know that's not really too much of a concern for me. Would you ever do that, or are you just like I'm still too
Um,
shy?
like I would definitely need a backup from a friend. There's no way I could, I think, have the confidence to just like go and do it. I would definitely need like a hype man or something alongside because I would have the so like just so much embarrassment. I'm like, oh no, please get me out of this situation.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. I don't think I've seen a TikTok or vlog in real life too.
Mm.
That's a far chance. I don't think it's just. It's easier if you live in like cities like Los Angeles, New York, maybe Miami or Chicago, because it's just Los Angeles specifically because you got all the famous people there, so
Mhm.
it's easier. But um, excuse me. In regards to TikTok and Instagram, what do you think of people slash personalities making a career due to social media presence?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I feel like people don't necessarily like know what they're getting into and stuff, but if they're able to keep their heads on straight and they have the support of family and friends and stuff, like they can do really cool and positive things with it. But I love that more people are getting the opportunity to like shine for just being themselves. Like it's like if you blow up on TikTok, it's not because you went to school for it. It's not because like I don't know. It's there's just so much more that I think can happen and it be natural and more authentic. So I absolutely love that side of it.
I do like that too. I get concerned like I'm not really like not for Instagram, but like for TikTok because imagine you know how TikTok was supposed to shut down like three to four times already because of you know being owned by a Chinese company. Imagine if like it shut down. What are these guys gonna do? What do you have a
Mhm.
backup plan? You know, you mentioned this already with Emma Chamberlain owning coffee company. You've seen other people own create clothes and all that. You know, some people make the career off of YouTube. You got lucky, but like if it's solely TikTok, yeah, it could be hard
Mhm.
to keep the personality. But I don't know. I still don't. I feel like I do like that. You know, you get lucky, you can make $1 million a year. But I would consider like for me, if I ever blew up, I want a backup plan.
Mhm.
Like that's why I'm going for college. Just say you know, going in with that smaller following, I get a couple of TikToks that blow up. You know, it stays consistent. I post consistently or at good amount, not like every hour or so, like some people. But if I do that, I still want a backup plan. Like I wouldn't. And also, even if I blow up on TikTok, I'm not from LA area or California. I would never move.
Mm.
You know, some people do get, you know, we go. Some people move from Canada to LA. Michigan, Louisiana, Florida, Connecticut. Some of those names do make sense. That's why I mentioned those states. New York. I would never move. I don't know. I just can't. I don't. I feel like I want to create. Like if I ever become TikTok famous, I don't want to follow the people.
Mhm.
Like follow where everybody goes. You know, create my own community wherever I live. You know, do you know if I want to do skit. You know, do these public interactions. You know, public embarrassment videos. You know, I do it whatever I got right now. I don't want to do it in Los
Mhm.
Angeles because people expect it too many times. Plus, I don't want to. I don't want to switch time zones either. So that's.
Mhm.
I don't like switching time zones. but it's just something I just can't. I don't know. It's just I kind of want to create my own thing, and that's I don't want to follow where everybody's going Los Angeles just for the fame and clout and all that. Unless I got a business opportunity now, go to Los Angeles, but not staying there permanently. I don't know. Maybe that will happen. Maybe I don't know what expect in the future. Maybe I do move to Los Angeles because of that. But it's just I feel like I want to create something different if I ever blow up and make other people famous around me who you know could get lucky
Mhm.
because they know me. Even if I'm from a smaller community, like I live in a smaller community than all these Los Angeles people who got like bigger, got a lot more people to be around with. Next question I got for you is, what um, do you think the amount of pressure from social media overall creates a devilish side for a lot of for a lot of people? Wait, do you think the amount of pressure from social media um, overall create a devilish side for a lot of personalities to go from normal to bad? Or was it just a different? Was it a different factor? Now I got a list of celebrities here. Um, who went from normal people, it seems like not going to get in trouble to, yeah, let's just get trouble. Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato, Kanye West, Scott Disick. I came up with that name. Shia LaBeouf, maybe Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, Chris Brown. Those are some examples I came up with.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of hard because with people being in the public spotlight, like they're well known, their actions are just always watched. So, like, while some people grow up and they have their rebellious teen phase type of thing, like, you know what, they mess up, life goes on, they grow up, like no one cares because no one, I guess I shouldn't say no one cares, but like the public as a whole isn't like on their case because it, to us that seems normal. It's like, oh well, yeah, I was a bad kid, blah blah blah. I used to do that. Like it's not a big deal, but I think people kind of put celebrities and stuff like that on a pedestal. It's like, oh well, they're in the public eye. They always need to be good, like a good role model. And I think it can be like expecting too much of people. There's definitely things people do that are just never okay. But I think a lot of like you see this in a lot of like Disney stars or whatever who are or like child actors where they're expected to always just be this like sweet little angel when they were a child and just continue that as they grow up. But it's like, well, they're growing up and now they want to be authentic to themselves and not necessarily fit the mold that they were portraying because they acted in this thing as a kid. So to me, it's kind of like a natural progression of yeah, people are going to grow up and they're going to mess up and they're going to lash out. And it's really going to get, unfortunately, highlighted for these people. But like, remember, hey, they're human and they're in the spotlight. Like, if I had to live under that type of microscope, like, it would be so brutal. You just feel like, I think you'd feel like you are going to go crazy because you're just so bottled up in what everyone expects of you instead of like what you want to be.
Yeah, remember this is gonna happen for their probably and like the rest of their lives.
Mhm.
You get like imagine Justin Bieber, like you go out to dinner and all that, and you got a whole paparazzi right behind you just talking about
Mhm.
random stuff. You imagine like the TikTok celebrities, how would they act in the future because they're all young, they're all not like 18 to 20, 18, 23 years old, all young. These guys are getting older and all that. They're gonna get more experience with paparazzi. How bad could it be? Like, could they could they punch the one of the cameramen who's doing the paparazzi although they know him a lot, just it gets annoying after a while. It just feels like it's no privacy, and I
Yeah.
feel like that does have influence. And I well, because the problem is everybody knows what they want. That's what the
Mhm.
paparazzi's goal is. They want to know what's happening in the lives daily, every second. What
Mhm.
time they take a piss. What time do they
Mhm.
walk the dog. Oh my gosh, what do you think about this guy in Spider-Man? How come you didn't want to do it? Well, I didn't want to do Spider-Man because I'm not Spider-Man. What time do you eat your cereal? It's like it gets annoying for them, and they just kind of get angry, and then like they get angry at people and all that. Get the hate on social media. Maybe for releasing a bad song, just say for Justin Bieber, for example. They want to start also. a kind of different factor. I did go a different factor here, but kind of really them wanting to start experimenting. Like, some people want to experiment what alcohol is like. You know, probably once Justin Bieber started turning 21, he probably drank a lot of alcohol because, he didn't have the opportunity to when he was blowing up at 16, when he was releasing baby, 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 ooh. So like, yeah, he wants to experiment, and that leads to more drug problems, standing with Demi Lovato. Um, Chris Brown, I think he was pretty normal until he kind of punched Rihanna. And, I don't think he's kind of recovered from that. Shia LaBeouf, this was a big one. Where he just turned into a total disaster. You go from Transformer stars, like 1, 2, 3, it seems normal. And then once you stop making Transformer movies, it just like you don't want to be assistant anymore. You kind of act like a douchebag out in public. I feel, yeah, the paparazzi does have a big influence on it. And you never really think about it. Well, you kind of think about it a lot, but you never really kind of think about it immediately. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like what happens if they get more privacy? Is it going to be the same thing? Like without the paparazzi, them could that lead to consistent, like a more normal attitude consistently? Well, I don't know, but that's something you have to consider. Just kind of always having that spotlight. Next question I got, as we're kind of nearing the end of the show, from these social media platforms, which one is best to grow yourself on? I got a list. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Mixer, Caffeine. Caffeine is a streaming app. Mixer was on here. Oh, I wrote this a long time ago. So I put Mixer in here because I think I wrote about this when I stopped doing the show a long time ago. So that's why I said Mixer. We're gonna Mixer doesn't exist anymore. TikTok, Visco, or Tumblr. Like, which one would be the best to grow? One social media platform that will be the best to grow on.
Ooh, that is definitely a tough one. To me, I kind of feel like potentially Instagram. I don't know 100% though. I guess it depends, but I say that because now they're definitely taking features from other platforms. But I feel like their feed and like their search page and stuff like that, like they really try to make content that people want to see, like kind of curate it is what I'm trying to say. So if you do post gaming things, like hopefully you're using the right tags and everything like that, and you will get populated there. But with Instagram too, like you could do something as simple as a post. They have like I don't know if they still have it actually, the Instagram TV type of thing. They have Reels. So they're trying to pull these popular features from other platforms and then use them as well. So I think you could have a good reach on there, and people who are scrolling or browsing just could by chance come across your content. And then because it is something that probably piques their interest, they will have the more likelihood that like you'll follow and engage with that and stuff. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with, but it's very tricky.
I gotta go. I don't know, I wrote this a long time ago, so I feel like TikTok. But I've mixed this up. It's between YouTube and TikTok, but I feel like I'm gonna go with TikTok because it is the fastest growing right now. Like the across, one of the fastest growing apps. You can blow up easily just by that. YouTube, it's available to everybody. I think that's what's the difference is. Like YouTube is available to maybe besides a couple countries, like 4 or 5 billion people. So you got a lot of access. But with TikTok, it's been banned in a couple countries and all that, and some people might not want to get it because it's kind of, but not everybody you're gonna watch it. You don't know if you're gonna watch it consistently, but TikTok I think has the most potential, and because you don't know when you're gonna blow up. You can post one video, you can post a gaming clip that was pretty unreal, or you can post something funny, embarrassing, something maybe serious, something informational, and you could get lucky and blow up, and it can be consistent, and you could have the chance to make a lot of money off it. YouTube has been really strict recently. You mentioned about early in the podcast about the ads, maybe demonetization. Although YouTube is the most accessible, it's hard because you got so many other people, you got so many other content creators who are fully developed and have years of history and have been relied on years of history. TikTok, no one's been relied on. It's just whatever you see. You're not relying on someone for information videos or you know all that like good content or vlogs and all that for a top vlog. But YouTube, unlike YouTube, so I feel like TikTok is just how more and more people are going to be using it. More people are going to create TikToks. It's easy to get the fame because you don't know what you can do. You could get lucky. You have more luck. You have more luck on TikTok than on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last question. This is kind of a little bit of a fun one here. Before we get to the closing topic question, if there is a law that will only allow one acceptable social media platform to be used by everyone and all the other social media apps get deleted for existence, which social media platform would you want to keep?
Ooh, okay, this is tricky. If it counts, I would probably keep YouTube because
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
that
actually,
there's
sorry, no, you're not counting YouTube because that's the
oh
internet-based site.
no.
We'll go,
Oh.
okay, here, I'll list them out.
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. We'll go at 5.
Oh man.
Maybe go with Visco to add on to it. So 6.
I dig it. Okay, if I have to, then I would say I would keep Twitter. That was an option, I hope.
Yeah.
Just because I know like TikTok and some things like have time limits where you're like some videos can only be so long, and stuff like that. At least with like Twitter, you can go to town all day and you can post like a picture or a video if you want to. But if I had to only keep one, I guess it would be that. It's a really hard choice though.
I gotta go with Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you get a lot more information out of it, a lot of more useful information. Like some pages post like people up with sports and they post a lot of useful information. I can search up internet too. You get pictures, you see. Twitter's is just not words all the time. You got more pictures, a lot mean more than words.
Instagram just does not let us have links in the post though. What's up with that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a disadvantage, but that's you can just have people type it in. That's not much a concern for me. Just type that crap. People know how to type, right? Copy and link. Well, you can't copy, but I I didn't get to go with that. I know I mentioned about the self-confidence issues, the bullying and all that, but I feel like Instagram, it just provides the most, besides the copy link, but that's not much a concern for me. So yeah, so that's going to be it for the kind of social media portion of the topic. And the closing topic section of the topic, that was pretty well worded there. Pretty good talking points, had some pretty interesting conversations. The closing topic question is, since I found your stream via Overwatch, and to give you a heads up, I explained to every viewers, if you do get a message from me, it's either going to be 3 ways: TikTok, Twitter, or Twitch stream. So, and you don't know what I'm looking for. You could, I'm really specific with the guests, so I try to look for people that I can kind of relate to the topics, that can relate to some of the topics. So, for social media, just anyone who uses social media. Do you have so I noticed that I found you in Overwatch, just trying to find different people from different games, one day or one night. Do you have strong belief that Overwatch 2 will regain most of the former Overwatch fan base that had left?
Oh man, this is spicy. I think it will, because I think people want to play Overwatch. It's just been the same content, for so long. So I think that the rise will be there. And I think it will be actually a little bit more competitive since we have this whole new PvE side of things, that people will want to be like, I beat this in such and such time. Like there's going to be that kind of competitive aspect in, I was able to do this solo, blah, blah, blah. Like kind of like how WoW raids happen, maybe not at that epic scale and stuff like that. But I do think that the player base will come back. They're going to be excited to have new characters, new maps. Like there's a lot to look forward to. I'm getting very hyped about it. I'm counting down until the virtual BlizzCon and stuff like that. But I definitely think it will draw the fan base back as long as everything works. We don't want any buggy launches and stuff like that. But I definitely believe.
I do want to answer this question, but that's something I do not want to answer because I do not play Overwatch. I haven't touched the game. I watched Overwatch League finals once 1 year, but that's not a game I really keep up with or
Mm.
watch or ever played. So I kind of want to answer the question, but I'm gonna kind of not answer it. So that's gonna be the end of the podcast here for the Game Takes episode 37, the social media craze. America Girl 2040. You want to give any shout outs to anyone before we end off the show?
I mean, I would
Slash
just like to
podcast.
really thank you.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I have
Yep,
just one
that's it.
more. Okay. Well, if you guys are gonna watch on YouTube, thank you. Thank you for. Hopefully, you guys like this video and make sure you subscribe. That's gonna be the end of the podcast here. We're gonna have another one in probably we'll say Wednesday. Probably 5 days. Not gonna explain the topic. I like to keep that a surprise. Thank you guys who watched the whole YouTube video. Fortunately, we couldn't get this on stream because a little bit of issues on my side, but Zoom call works perfectly. That's gonna be it. Bye.